Okay, here's my test plot with 24 ounces per 1,000 square feet of citric acid applied. We didn't water it in right away, but we did get something like 4 to 5 inches of rain in the last 7 to 10 days. So imagine if this was in a customer scenario, no rain and completely relying on irrigation, it probably would have burned a lot worse. But I wanted to see what kind of pH adjustment we could get at that high rate for take all root rot purposes. And today I'm going to put out 3 ounces per thousand in this area right here. It's marked off 1,000 square feet. This is right next to the 24 ounces. And then I'm going to do a 6 ounce per 1,000 square feet on the other side. So, all right, stay tuned. Okay, today I'm going to go over some soil testing I did earlier in the year, if I can get enough internet connection to do so. So I made a video earlier in the year where I was doing a demonstration on, maybe a demonstration slash review on hydrate, and I got busy and I didn't follow through with the rest of the review, so please forgive me on that. But I did mention also that some testing that I was doing with citric acid. My intent is to use citric acid as a way to combat take all root rot. So I'm in the process of working with citric acid. I don't have any claims to make on it right now, other than it doesn't seem to be right now as a solution. But I'm going to go over some data right now. So before I started applying citric acid, and I'm trying to find that soil test as I'm skimming through here, and hopefully I can find it. Here's my soil test before I did anything. So you see my regular soil pH is 7.5, my buffer pH is 7.75. That is the ability for you to move pH. That's what buffer pH is. CEC is good. And that's, let's see, organic matter, pretty good. For where I live, it's pretty good, because I live on 3.5 acres of land that's kind of like in a flood zone, sort of. And we get a lot of water that runs through. So my potassium's high, phosphorus low. I'm going to apply phosphorus this fall when the weather cools off and I can aerate before, because I have ponds nearby. And so when we talk in terms of phosphorus moving off site, it's going to move off site in sediment. So if I can get my phosphorus deeper into the ground, that it has less chance of moving with sediment. And since I do have a lot of water that flows through my property, I don't want it ending up in my ponds through sediment. Okay, it does take a lot for it to move that way. So just keep that in mind. It's not like nitrogen, let's say, that you can wash it off and the rain will move it into your ponds or whatever. When phosphorus isn't like that, it bonds to the soil, and the only way it's going to move is through sediment, and it doesn't move down very fast either. So you apply it to the surface of the soil with granular products or liquid, it's going to stay on the very top for a very long time. So that's why I like to aerate and then apply phosphorus. So I get off my phosphorus rant. We're doing a video on my pH. So the pH 7.5. Okay. So let's go back and see if we can find the testing that I did after that. And my internet is garbage. It's where I live. There's no good connection with AT&T or Verizon or anybody. So if you're AT&T or Verizon, please put some fiber in or whatever, please, by Spinks Airport. I really have slow internet, and it's a real struggle. So anyway, first world problems. Okay, so the first test here we have is after 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet of citric acid. And ignore the area size. My property is about 3.6 acres, and I just had to put a size there to satisfy the questionnaire that the soil kit asked for in the beginning. So we have 7.5, so we didn't move that any. The buffer pH moved down a little, but I don't think that had anything to do with the citric acid. So let's go back to overview. The internet is so bad at 5 o'clock. We might as well be on dial-up. All right, so six ounces, and this was applied starting in April. The test was conducted April, let's say the first week of April through the first week of May of 2024. So still no change there. So that was after 6, after 9. And so the grass was growing really good at the time. I had scalped and done a lot of prep. So my grass was pretty much out of dormancy at that time. And none of these rates burned the grass at all. So the 6 or the 9 ounce did not do any kind of damage whatsoever. Now I think it was a little hotter. It probably would. So the pH went up in this instance. I just think that I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't take the test correctly, but this sometimes happens. So we're gonna throw that one out the window, and then we're gonna go to the 12 ounces per 1,000 square feet next. So that's this one here. So we did get a little change. We went from 7.5 to 7.4. I did do a 24 ounce per 1,000 square foot of citric acid, and it absolutely smoked the grass. It did come back after a month, so it wasn't permanent or anything. And the 12 ounces had a little, you could tell a little bit that something was applied there, but I'm not so sure if you didn't tell anybody. There may not have been an eyebrow raised in that situation. So to keep that in mind. So maybe the cutoff is somewhere like 9 ounces, but the label says 3 ounces, so as much as you're supposed to use. But I did go off label on my own property to see what kind of results we get. Now, I would be curious if I could just measure the soil interface to see what kind of soil pH change we could get there, because this is intended for take-all root rot, and I want to be able to change the soil pH at the soil interface, and that would be the most important part. And so I don't know what kind of change we got there. That's hard to measure. But I'm going to do some more testing in spring of 2025, where I'm going to compare peat moss, which is very effective on take-all root rot, and then I'm going to do citric acid at the 12 ounce per 1,000 square feet rate, and then see what kind of results we can get. I'm going to guess that you're going to have to apply the citric acid probably on a monthly basis while conditions for take-all root rot are favorable. I don't know. These are just things I'm gonna try. Okay, so I don't have any results for this, but these are the things that I'm working on. So, like I said before, this is a continuation of the video from earlier this year. I wanted to put the results up. I forgot about putting the results up, and the review for the hydrate product. I got busy and I forgot about it, and so I don't have a review for hydrate or hydrotane at this moment. I do use hydrotane at my house, and I do think that I get some benefit from using it. It's not a miracle product, but I do see some differences. For example, it's middle August, and I have a non-irrigated property, and I'm not fully dormant like a lot of non-irrigated properties are right now. So keep that in mind. So thank you for watching, and thank you for letting me bring you these results. Please stay tuned to the channel. click the little like button. Please subscribe, all that. I think we just passed, or we're coming up on 1,200 subscribers, so I'm really proud of that. Thanks again for watching.